Then we go on to the test setup level. We insert a new test. We simply drag and drop, as those of you using Crash Designer know. Move it into the seminar 2019, and now we can assign, okay, where is the dummy actually positioned? It's in vehicle 1, on the driver position, and now we have the full description of the ISO code. So you see here, the previous 00 now got filled with the 11 to complete the ISO code for the setup. We don't have any additional sensors, any additional information. We could now also set up a channel trigger for the system, just as a safety trigger, which we are not doing. And now we can go into the execution. And here again, you see the warning, and this warning refers to all the red marks that we have seen in our channel list. This is where there is some inconsistency that you need to think about. And then we can go into the test execution sequence step by step. Similar to DTI maps, we connect to our data recorders. We verify our IDs. The fact that sensor ID check is going so fast in DTI is that we are not checking IDs. This is just a step which we are not doing because it doesn't exist. The next step, which takes a little bit longer, is the programming, which is nothing else but the initialization in DTI maps. So now the recorder is calling for all the sensor information, which is then stored in the recorder. Crash Designer is not working from the database, different from an analog sensor. With the DTI, we are working with the sensor information. This is the master. Still fast. Now we do our offset check, and now we should get the same failure. We have 8 offsets which are out of the range. That's similar to what we've seen previously when checking the complete system. Now we can go back into the channel list and actually watch which channels are affected. Okay, it's one of the angles which is in the left lower chest, but even in Crash Designer level we can now say, okay, add this to the online view, do a continuous reading, and then I can check left, lower, Y, so it should be up and down. Okay, it's actually working. So I can do this check also on the Crash Designer level. Then I do my shunt check. Here I think we did not have any errors in DTI maps, so we don't have any errors in Crash Designer. Then we do our trigger test, and as I mentioned this morning, we have implemented also the start record function into the new recorders, similar to what you have with mini DAOs or key DAOs. So I'm simulating here the triggers. The one is the start record. So you see the record went yellow, and we have this blue indication. Now I do my T0. So trigger test successfully completed. Now I clear the memory. Even though there was a message, there's valid data in the memory, so do you really want to clear? And then finally, we arm our system. So, dummy is ready for use. Now I'm really taking the risk, I haven't tested this yet. When you look at the LED, it's in SOS mode now. So this is really the SOS blinking frequency. And this indicates that the dummy is armed. There's different modes of the blinking. Each mode stands for a different state in which the dummy currently is in. If you only power the dummy, it's only blinking blue. If you have successfully initialized, it's blinking green. Now it's in SOS mode, waiting for the trigger. And when it is triggered, it flashes red, so it's recording. And Normally, we should be able to disconnect now. Still waiting for trigger. That's why we have the battery in the data recorders, just the unlikely case that something is happening, we still have power. So now we again do the shaking. We can now do the start record. So now it starts recording. And we can do our test. The default setting in Crash Designer is that we have 4 seconds of data recording, and then we get this message. Is 4 seconds enough? Do you want to stop, or you want to continue reading data, which for a crash test by far is enough. So now we read out our memory, and we have the similar shaking as before. Not as nice as previously, but so now, from the test results, you could change the readout time. So at the moment, we said, okay, we want 400 milliseconds pre-trigger, 1.5 seconds post-trigger. If you now realize data is not enough, in a rollover test, there was some event where I also need valid data. We could still go back and download the data again at a longer time frame. And now we convert. Maybe I should show that. For the data conversion, you can select in Crash Designer which output formats you want. So this goes from DRM, DRM AGV, ISO, AGV, ISO MME, CSV single, CSV, or DRM TDM. So this is the output formats you can select. Obviously, if you select them all, the data conversion takes a little bit longer than on a reduced selection. So now we do our data conversion. And now we could switch off and the test is over.
영상은 도움이 되셨나요? 문의사항은 아래로 메일 주세요. 그리고 좋아요, 구독 눌러주세요.